We're now in the epilogue. It's been a long day of playing. I started playing 1.1 today and all the way through to 1.5, and I realized that if I want to do the 3.0 story before Norma's release, which is roughly 3 days from now, I need to get my skates on. So we are continuing with the main quest, and then we try and reach the beginning of 2.0. Alright, we have to do the tutorial for when Lycaon gives us some kind of eye implant so we can enter the hollow. Probably the least fun part of the entire main story quest. I vividly remember doing these and you just walk around and kind of do nothing.
Master product.
That has to be one of the worst quests in the game. After the excitement of that mission, we get to spy on Hartman.
What a
I've only ever seen people approach Hartman from that direction and it never looks right. There was a surprise of, wait, did I get spotted? No, okay, we get teleported behind him.
Found you.
We have a brief encounter with Vivian before we head into the hollow, with Lycaon chasing after Hugo. Now I'm going to skip past it because you've seen it before. There's no novelty for it with this challenge account, it's just Lycaon.
I don't recall that fight being this short, but I think I originally did this fight while waiting out the voice lines, and that makes it a lot longer.
With that done, we head to Blazewood to get some information on Bringer.
Proxy, you're here too.
When this story first released, it was very confusing to see Soldier Zero Anby in outfit. Because what the chronological order was not clear, but I think the point was to play Soldier Zero Anby's story chapter first. Same goes for Trigger. We sort of never met Trigger before, but we did. You wouldn't know it if you hadn't played through the character quest first.
You here.
So DPS Trigger.
We are here to look for something too. Something extremely important. New Eridu's future may well depend on it.
Amazing gameplay. Truly.
Yes, the melody of combat. Recalibrating.
Now it's my turn to ask questions. Name Silver. Then you should know that it shouldn't exist.
I'm sorry, if you need this many shots to deal with just the normal enemies, you might not be a very good sniper player. Like your rank would be like Silver Elite or something. Okay, we now actually have an enemy to fight. Great. I don't think I've ever seen Trigger's basic attacks, and I say that as I have to replay through the entire thing, so that's great. We get to just hold mouse 1 again. Okay, we don't have to do the entire thing again.
Then you should know that.
Recalibrating. Sniper's Creed. One shot, one kill.
Foxy, let's use that fissure to head to the next.
I mean, Trigger's animations are very nice. It's just a shame that you never get to see them because you just hold your basic attack and then you go off field.
What's wrong, Vivian? You've seemed worried for a while now.
I'm worried about Sienna.
What's wrong, Vivian? You've seemed worried for a while now.
I'm worried about Sienna.
We already played that voice line. Oh, we're done.
Could the ring be in
I
the...
don't know, I had my eyes closed for a second. And that's what happens, you close your eyes and suddenly there's a dead person.
It's all that kid's fault.
Whoa.
Honestly, looking at the footage, you'd think I hated this section, because it's very boring, but at the same time it was so relaxing. You practically don't have to play the game, you just group the enemies and hold your mouse button for the rest of the fight.
Foxy, the fissure that we're looking for is up ahead.
Let's see how this thing fights. They don't really seem to be all too interested in me. They seem only interested in Vivian. That works for me.
My bullets are one with the wind. Ether vision activate.
We're done with Trigger for now, but we can now go to Hugo's backstory, which I do have some thoughts on, which I'll share later.
Really happy when you said that my abilities weren't a curse, but a gift.
You know, this came out right around the time where quality time was still relatively new, and this was their new way of presenting dialogue, and it's so extremely static. And the fact that you cannot skip it doesn't help here.
Compatible.
And then after a dialogue, you go into another dialogue. It's strange. It's real strange. Not gonna lie, this whole section with Vivian, where we went to Luminous Square and Blazewood, now to the Ballet Twins, it feels like a wild goose chase. But I get it. It's the end of a season. You wanna revisit some of the places. Back to playing DPS Lycaon.
More familiar than you, it seems.
I skipped forward a bit again, because everything was I should expect I should play it normally. We're now back to Hugo, which had one particular thing, which is this phase, which you're supposed to be doing that with defensive assists, but obviously we're only playing Lycaon on field, and then we don't get any of the defensive assists. No, this fight had quite a lot of dodging. Fortunately for us, Lycaon is a stun agent, so we get to a few stuns and we do a good amount of damage during that stun.
Ready to continue.
That said, after about 3 stun windows, we were only 2/3 of the way through.
Vivian, this is the final lesson I'll impart to you. Those who
Amateurs.
As long as we get this right, we should be fine.
Be gone.
Finally, after about 4 minutes of back and forth bickering, Lycaon ended up coming out on top. And that's the end of the first epilogue. I'm gonna go straight into the second epilogue.
This is the first trial mode we've gotten in a long time. I think the last time was 1.3. It was the story with Yanagi and Tsukaku. I think it was just those two.
Lord Nathan, watch out! I'll tell you what that was about later. Let's take care of the ethereals first.
Just try me. Hey! An opening. Safety first. Begging for mercy. Should have started with that. Yeah.
That really didn't hit both of them. Okay. It's fine, we have 2 DPS characters anyways. We can use the ult from both of them.
But none of that was a coincidence. It was me. Following you, and now I've finally made it to your side.
They really tried to do a cute anime thing, but it doesn't. It's just creepy. I have to say, I do enjoy Ben's ability to group enemies. Just from the amount of knockback he gives, and from having a really good area of effect on his attacks. It's why you see me play Ben against a lot of these smaller enemies. It's also because of the high interrupt value that makes it so the enemies never attack back.
An evil miasma gathers here. Another place of conflict. If you wish to avoid disaster, then head southeast. Now.
No, I wasn't sold on Yishwen's voice acting in this particular scene, but I think over time it's really proven that, yeah, no, it's actually quite fitting for how she's written. It's very aloof. And I did catch that when I first heard it, but I wasn't fully convinced, but I am nowadays. We then got a lot of dialogue about Vivian's backstory and Hugo returning from the dead. I want to skip past that and talk a little bit about what my thoughts were on both epilogue stories, 1.6 and 1.7. To start with the positive, I think the epilogue did a good job at continuing the plot of the game and set up some conspiracies for future chapters to resolve. It did not feel like they were filling time. On the other hand, I think the character stories we got in the main story were not up to satisfaction. And I'm not talking about Trigger or Anby, as those were separate from the main quest. For Vivian, I can't hate her because I love her visual design, but during and especially after the main quest, she devolved into a character whose only words are to idolize faith in. Yet the connection the game attempts to establish between the player and Vivian is incredibly flimsy. It was a social media comment that we posted but never get to see. I wonder if the developers knew how flimsy of a connection this was, so they left that as an aside so we wouldn't think about it too much. What I do like is that she starts out expressing how she's grown, and as the story progresses you learn more about her past and how it's shaped her, so you actually get to learn how she has grown. It's a shame for the damsel in distress turned stalker personality that isn't as endearing as the writers intend. Then there is Hugo, who not only has this terribly long therapy session with poor environmental storytelling and repetitive tasks, but also falls into a trap of typical Hoyo writing in 2 annoying ways. The first point is that Hoyo refuses to let characters have anything morally grey. During the first part of the epilogue they actually set him up as this
Really interesting character. He asked philosophical questions that made us think, and even just the act of him asking made us think about who he is. And his supposed backstory had him taking morally questionable actions. I wanted to like him back then, but I foresaw how his backstory left enough gaps to rewrite all his wrongdoings. Of course he didn't actually kill Serena. Of course he didn't kill his father. All that setup about Lycaon failing to set him on the right path was all for nothing. Because no, he's actually righteous and forgiving. It's such a waste that he regresses to the mean, turning him into a character with a stunted past you should feel sorry for. The other part I don't like about Hugo is how he is a classic case of a male character who is overcompetent in his schemes. Hoyo wants to sell you on a character being smart, yet anything smart always happens off screen. Let me give you an impression of a smart man, according to Hoyo.
I've been here this whole time. Now let me play my trump card. While you were not looking, I devised an elaborate scheme that nullifies the whole conflict because I am smart and predicted everything.
Like, no dude, let me see how the plan unfolds so I can understand why your scheme was so intelligent. Let me be part of that rise and resolution. It's lazy writing that convinces me of nothing you want to sell the character as. Anyways, ending on a positive note, I think Hugo's English voice actor is incredible. And I like that he has a gun scythe, it's one of my favorite weapons. So despite my issues with his writing, I don't actually dislike him, or Vivian for that matter. Okay, rant over, let me finish this chapter.
So what's the team this time? Is it just Vivian? I'm gonna assume Lycaon is the worst DPS.
Workers were brought here to remove.
So honestly, Vivian might be worse. We'll try out both. So that was not great. It might be more of an issue that it took a while to group the enemies. Now let's try the same thing with Vivian. I know that Vivian is meant to be a DPS contributor, but that's off-field, right? But if we're only ever using our own basic attacks, it might honestly be worse damage. No, I think that was better than what Lycaon provides. I don't know, Hugo's inner demon is just staring at the enemies.
You just stepped into your own grave!
Don't touch me.
Now we get to play DPS Vivian.
Nathan. Fool. You better not get my dress dirty.
Finally, we reached the final boss of Season 1. This is among the most confusing boss fights in the game,
Don't come any closer.
because the mechanic of this boss is that you do defensive assists to break its arms, right? You see the arms have armor on them. You're meant to break that with 3 defensive assists, counted separately for each arm. But Vivian alone has no defensive assist because she's alone. So it's weird to introduce a boss in the story that you cannot actually interact with as intended.
How irksome. It's so warm, and the night is beautiful.
This scene still reminds me of Ruby Rose and her silver eyes. It's a bit different, of course, but the way it reacts in a very emotional moment about people you love, that's similar, right? We did it. We finished season 1. So we're done for the day. Next week we're gonna rush through the 2.0 story. For me that's going to be tomorrow, but you'll be seeing it a week later. Yeah, that's it.